Hello, you're watching Daily News on All News Nigeria. I am Opeyemi Olugbemi. Here are the headlines for today. Militant groups threaten 2023 elections. SOWORE blames politicians for electoral violence. Mockery as TINUBU sleeps during presidential meeting. Welcome back. Now the news in details. A new militant group called the Force of Igbusu has surfaced in the creeks of the Niger Delta with stern warnings to President Muhammadu Buhari and state governors to do the needful for the well-being of the oil-rich region, or else hell will be let loose during the February general elections in the region.
This video that I'm doing, Mr. President, listening to me and listening very good. Also you governors that in Niger Delta, I'm the Force of Igbusu. I'm doing this video for Bayelsa State and also the President. This coming up election, if the governor and the President don't know what to do, I'm the Force of Igbusu. I'm readying myself. Look at my war boat. These are my war boat. And these are my fighters. I'm getting myself ready always, 24 hours. I'm coming for you people for the election. If you don't know what to do. And President, if you know what to do, come to me. Also Governor, come to me. Or else there will be no election for Basan Clan.
In an electronic mail and video released over the weekend, the leader of the group, who identified himself as General Bolodi, lamented the abandonment meted out to him and his group since 2010 by political leaders on one hand, and the utter neglect of the oil-rich Bashan clan in the creeks of Niger Delta on the other hand. This is not the first time the peace of the nation will be threatened. Militant groups, terrorism groups on many occasions have threatened to unleash terror and even dared to kidnap the president, Buhari, should their needs not be met. Also recall in April 2022, some gunmen terrorizing Nigeria's southeast released a video warning the Nigerian government not to hold the 2023 general elections in the region. In the video clip, the gunmen said their grievance was the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB.
Only the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu can calm us down. One day sit at home is sacrosanct. Nothing can stop it, apart from the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu.
They had claimed at the time that they had no sponsor and were under nobody's command. Nigerians are again confronted with growing uncertainty about the upcoming general elections. Electoral violence, including protests challenging official results, has often hit Nigeria's elections. At least 800 people died in post-election violence after the 2011 polls. In the southeast, where most of the attacks on election infrastructure have occurred, violent separatists want to create an independent state of Biafra, more than 50 years after a rebellion failed to achieve a separate state. Authorities have accused members of the leading pro-Biafra group known as the Indigenous People of Biafra of killing security forces and sometimes their own people from the Igbo ethnic group, Nigeria's third largest. Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation with more than 210 million people. It's confronted by several security problems, including an Islamic extremist insurgency linked to the Islamic State group in the northeast, rebels in the northwest, and secessionists in the southeast. The security threats are expected to be obstacles to peaceful elections on February 25. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, has described some Nigerian elders and state governors as being the ones behind the violence that plagues elections in Nigeria, saying peace is not breached by poor people. Poor people suffer the consequences of violence.
I observed one of the most peaceful elections in Nigeria in 1993, and we allowed that election to stand. We will not be signing a peace agreement today, because that you are signing a peace agreement in Nigeria shows that elections have become war in Nigeria. This is the only country in the world where you sign a peace agreement during an election season as if we are at war. But that is what our elders did to Nigeria. And I think next time we should sign a peace agreement with the elders who are instigating violence in this country, or have them sign peace agreements between themselves.
It condemned the violence that has marred elections in some states and complained about the lack of prosecution of the actors behind such deadly violence. According to the activists, if the 1993 presidential election had been allowed to stand and not annulled by anti-democracy actors, we would not be signing a peace agreement today, because that you are signing a peace agreement in Nigeria shows that elections have become war in Nigeria.
Peace is not breached by poor people. Poor people suffer the consequences of violence. When you look at elections, the people that suffer the most are those poor women and men. And when there's a breakdown in law and order in Nigeria, every rich man, politically connected, gets enough police protection, and they're able to get on the jet and leave Nigeria at the slightest provocation.
Regarding Lagos, where TINUBU was the governor between 1999 and 2007 and has become a political godfather, deciding who becomes the governor since then, SOWORE said the APC has a team of supporters who go about tearing posters of candidates of other parties in the state.
You go to Lagos, where the APC holds sway, you cannot paste a poster if it's not Bola Ahmed Asiwaju's poster in Lagos. I just came back from Lagos. They have a team that tears anybody's poster that is not their candidate's poster. You cannot even pay for your poster or banner to be hosted in Lagos. They have a bureaucracy in place that makes it impossible for you to do. How can there be peace in a country where there's no justice?
Speaking of TINUBU, the APC presidential candidate was caught on camera sleeping during the meeting that the National Peace Committee organized in Abuja on Friday. 70-year-old TINUBU had been seen spotted in other public displays such as tripping over and sleeping during meetings since he has been announced to contest for president. In 2021 and 2022 alone, the former Lagos governor spent months patronizing hospitals in France, the United States, and the UK, where he underwent surgeries while Nigerian hospitals have been poorly equipped by the APC government. That's it on today's news. Join us tomorrow for more news updates. You can also follow us on all social media platforms displayed on the screen. I am Okoyemi Olubemi. Do have a good day.